The Odyssey, Book 2, continued. This spake Jove's daughter Pallas, whose voice heard no more Telemachus her charge deferred, but hasted home and sad at heart, did see amidst his hall the insulting wooers flee goats and roast swine, mongst whom Antinous, careless, discovering in Telemachus his grudge to see them, laughed, met, took his hand, and said, High spoken, with the mind so manned. Come, do as we do. Put not up your spirits with these low trifles, nor our loving merits in gall of any hateful purpose steep, but eat egregiously, and drink as deep. The things thou thinkest on, all at full shall be by the Archives thought on and performed to thee. Ship and choice oars, that in a trice will land thy hasty fleet on heavenly Pylos' sand, and at the fame of thy illustrious sire. Telemachus answered, Men, whose pride did so inspire, are not fit consorts for an humble guest, nor are constrained men merry at their feast. Is it not enough that all this time ye have oped in your entrails my chief goods a grave, and while I was a child made me partake? My, now more growth, more groan my mind doth make, and hearing speak more judging men than you, perceiving how much I was misgoverned now, I now will try if I can bring ye home an ill fate to consort you, if it come from Pylos, or amongst the people here. But thither I resolve, and know that there I shall not touch in vain, nor will I stay, though in a merchant ship I steer my way, which shows in your sights best, since ye may know me incapable of ship or men to row. This said, his hand he coyly snatched away from forth Antinous' hand. The rest the day spent through the house with banquets, some with jests, some with railings, dignifying their feasts. To whom a jest-proud youth the wit began, Telemachus will kill us every man, from Sparta to the very Pylian sand. He will raise aids to his impetuous hand. Oh, he affects it strangely. Or he means to search Ephyra's fat shores, and from thence bring deathful poisons, which amongst our bowls will make a general shipwreck of our souls. Another said, Alas! Who knows but he once gone and erring like his sire at sea may perish like him, far from the aid of friends, and so he makes us work? For all the ends left of his goods here we shall share, the house left to his mother and her chosen spouse. Thus they, while he a room ascended, high and large, built by his father, where did lie gold and brass heaped up, and in coffers were rich robes, great store of odorous oils, and there stood tons of sweet old wines along the wall, neat and divine drink, kept to cheer withal Ulysses' old heart, if he turned again from labours fatal for him to sustain. The doors of plank were, their close exquisite, kept with a double key, and day and night a woman locked within. And that was she who all trust had for her sufficiency, old Euryclea, one of Opus' race, son to Pisenor, and in passing grace with grey Minerva, her the prince did call, and said, Nurse, draw me the most sweet of all the wine thou keep'st. Next, that which for my sire thy care reserves, in hope he shall retire. 12 vessels fill me forth, and stop them well. Then into well-sewed sacks of fine ground meal pour 20 measures, nor to anyone but thee thyself let this design be known. All this see got together. I it all at night will fetch off, when my mother shall ascend her high room, and for sleep prepare. Sparta and Pylos I must see, and care to find my father. Out Euryclea cried, and asked with tears, Why is your mind applied, dear son, to this course? Whither will you go? So far off leave us, and beloved so only, and the sole hope of your race. royal Ulysses, far from the embrace of his kind country, in a land unknown is dead, and you, from your loved country gone, the wooers will with some deceit essay to your destruction, making then their prey of all your goods, where in your own ye are strong. Make sure abode. It fits not you so young to suffer so much by the aged seas, and in such a wayless wilderness. Be cheered, love nurse, said he, for not without the will of God go my attempts about. Swear therefore not to wound my mother's ears with word of this, before from heaven appears the 11th or 12th light, or herself shall please to ask of me, or hears me put to seas, lest her fair body with her woe be wore. To this the great oath of the gods she swore, which having sworn, and of it every due performed to full, the vessel's wine she drew, and into well-sewed sacks poured foody meal. In meantime he, with cunning to conceal in all thought of this from others, himself bore in broad house with the wooers as before. Then grey-eyed Pallas other thoughts did own, and like Telemachus trod through the town, commanding all his men in the even to be aboard his ship. Again then questioned she Noemon, famed for aged Phronius' son, about his ship, who all things to be done assured her freely should. The sun then set, and sable shadows slid through every street, when forth they launched, and soon aboard did bring all arms, and choice of every needful thing that fits a well-rigged ship. The goddess then stood in the port's extreme part, where her men, nobly appointed, thick about her came, whose every breast she did with her spirit inflame, yet still fresh projects laid the grey-eyed dame. Straight to the house she hasted, and sweet sleep poured on each wooer, which so laid in steep their drowsy temples, that each brow did nod, all were drinking, and each hand his load the cup let fall. All start up, and to bed, nor more would watch, when sleep so surfeited their leaden eyelids. Then did Pallas call Telemachus, in body, voice, and all, resembling Mentor, from his native nest, and said that all his armed men were addressed to use their oars, and all expected now he should the spirit of a soldier show. Come then, said she, no more let us defer our honoured action. Then she took on her a ravished spirit, and led as she did leap, and he her most haste took out step by step. Arrived at sea and ship, they found ashore the soldiers that their fashioned long hair wore. To whom the prince said, Come, my friends, let's bring our voyage's provision. Everything is heaped together in our court, and none, no, not my mother nor her maids, but one knows our intention. Thus expressed, he led, the soldiers close behind, together followed, and all together brought aboard their store. Aboard the prince went. Pallas still before sat at the stern, he close to her. The men up hasted after. He and Pallas then put from the shore. His soldiers then he bade see all their arms fit, which they heard and had. A beechen mast then in the hollow base they put, and hoisted, fixed it in its place with cables, and with well-wreathed hawsers hoise their white sails, which great Pallas now employs, with full and fore gales through the dark deep main. The purple waves, so swift cut, roared again against the ships, and now ran and ploughed the rugged seas up. Then the men bestowed their arms about the ship, and sacrificed with crowned wine cups to the endless deities the offered up. Of all yet throned above, they most observed the grey-eyed seed of Jove, who from the evening till the morning rose, and all day long their voyage did dispose.